Wife no longer wants kids after my autism diagnosis. How should I proceed? Throwaway. Me and my wife, Cora, have been together for over 5 years and married for 3. Both Cora and I always dreamed of having a large family. We both love each other dearly and I truly thought nothing could come between us. Now I feel like my whole world is falling apart. I've always struggled a bit with my mental health. I always struggled with socializing and keeping up in school when I was a kid. I was bullied a lot for being weird and not as smart as the other kids or my siblings. I never got therapy because my folks believed that therapy was just for women and men who were too weak to hack it out on their own. I finally decided to make the jump and go see a therapist. Recently, I was officially diagnosed with autism. I had a huge mix of emotions. I was shocked, relieved and insecure. I finally had some answers for why I felt so different growing up, but I also felt scared because I didn't want people to look at or treat me differently. Shortly after I told Cora about my diagnosis, things between us started to feel off. She was very supportive and gave me comfort, but I could tell something was wrong. She wasn't nearly as talkative. I would regularly catch her deep in thought and she seemed to grow more distant as the days went on. The biggest change I noticed was that Cora almost completely stopped talking about babies. She went from constantly sending me baby-related content from TikTok, to not even wanting to talk about the subject at all. After 2 weeks of this I finally decided to confront her. She kept saying that she didn't want to talk about it and she was fine. I told her she's not fine. I'm starting to fear the worst and we're gonna talk about this now. After prying at her for several minutes, she finally confessed that she doesn't think we should have children anymore. My heart sunk. She started talking a mile a minute and kept reassuring that we can still adopt. She said that she grew up with a sibling who had special needs and it made her childhood miserable. She said that she can't bring herself to have child with me, now knowing the chances of producing a child with special needs are much higher. I honestly couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was filling with pain and rage. What she said next completely pushed me over the edge. She told me, "I'm so sorry, Op. It's not your fault. I love you so much. Believe me, if I had known you were autistic, I never would have brought up having kids." I lost it. I screamed at her and said, "If I had known you were such a heartless piece of trash, I never would have married you." She just looked at me with a blank stare and I stormed out before she could respond. I feel so broken. In that moment it felt like all the years of abuse and ridicule were replaying back in my mind. We haven't spoken to each other for a couple days. I feel awful for yelling, but I feel so hurt. I just don't know what to do.